Hey, we are back, and my next guest is an author of How to Change the Mind of the Mediocre Man, 5 Keys to Move from Great to Amazing. He's also a speaker, entrepreneur, and motivational strategist. Please welcome power broker Mr. Kervance Ross right here on the conversation. Welcome, sir.
Mr. Garrison, how are you?
Man, it's a powerful day to have you on the show, brother.
Hey, man, I'm honored to be on here, and thanks so much for having me on.
Oh, always. It's been exciting. By the way, I understand that we're actually fraternity brothers in Kappa Kappa Psi. I didn't know that prior to doing some homework.
Well, welcome, Fred. I didn't know that either, man. Big ups to you, man.
Yes, right. Small world.
Small world,
hey,
small.
Kervance, you have a very extensive background in business. What led you to helping others using your business acumen?
Well, it's kind of my, I guess you call it your journey. One of the main things was how I grew up. I grew up in a single-parent home in the hood here in Atlanta, an area that popularly made known through hip-hop called Bankhead, and grew up in a home with, at one point in my life, my mother, my grandmother, my great-grandmother, and my aunt all in the same house at the same time. And against the popular odds, my mother did an amazing job in exposing me, and I count that as a big opportunity to have been exposed to greater. Getting a scholarship, much like a drum line, to Alabama A&M University, full scholarship, getting my degree in marketing. When I graduated, I didn't know exactly what direction I was going to go in, and I had tried a plethora of things. My mom told me I had to get a car. I worked as a car dealer for a while. Figured out I didn't like the schedule, and I quit once I got the car. Thought I was going to be a fashion designer and wanted to be one of the major fashion designers in history, and started working at a high-end men's clothing store. Realized it wasn't what you'd done for me yesterday. It's how much you were able to do for them today. And once I didn't grasp that concept, I quit again, Clark. And I had to figure out how I could use my marketing degree, which said you needed 3 to 5 years experience, but nobody wanted to give you that experience, and still be able to move up. And the one place I found was the financial industry, and went into a bank at that time called Wachovia, which is now Wells Fargo, and started as a teller. And did something that I won't recommend to anybody, but it was a part of my journey. I was interviewing with the branch manager at the time, and he told me they only hired for personal bankers from within. And I told him that I liked his office, and I wasn't going to stay in the teller position long, and I needed him to tell me how I could get in his office. And he laughed at me, and he told me he liked me, and that he would work on getting me there. And the rule was you could only move up once per 12-month period. And within 18 months, I had moved up 5 times, and had moved my way into the financial specialist role. But it was in an area not far from my home in the inner city called the West End. And people around me were telling me it's ridiculous for you to commit this career suicide, because a good month over there was $175,000 in loans and $125,000 in deposits. And I just needed somebody to tell me I couldn't. And went over there with that opportunity, and in 6 months had changed that schematic of numbers drastically, and we were doing 1.75 in loans and 1.25 in deposits. And was 25 years old, living in a house built from the ground up, wearing custom-made clothes, driving a sports car, and was unfulfilled. And felt the Lord clearly telling me that it was a place where I was moving towards entrepreneurship, but I was afraid because the check was good. And I found that only 2 things will happen to you in life when you don't do what you're called to do. Either it will leave you, or you will have to leave it. And a lady who had been promised falsely by the company that she was coming to a different area got frustrated one day, and at the end of the day picked up a little small computer and threw it in my face. And She looked me in, I never forget the words as long as I live. She told me that I was a golden boy and she was going to get me fired today. And they put me on 15-day administrative leave. And in the state of Georgia, it's called workplace violence. It doesn't matter who initiates it. Whoever's involved, both people are terminated. So I had quit twice, been fired once, and I started at a job next, moved up much like I had in the past with favor, but had a horrible boss, a guy that didn't want anybody to get credit besides him. And went through that trial for about 2 years and came in one day about 12:15, and they tell us due to the fact that the company was cooking the books, the feds were closing it down. I have been fired, laid off, quit twice. And at this point, I'm sitting in my home office and realized when I'm praying that my answer was already there. And what I did is I used all of the tools. I had a degree in marketing. I have background in finance. And I hated poor customer service. I put all those pieces together, and as they would say, the rest is history. And it started KDR Consulting. We deal with businesses of any entity, of any size, in the areas of marketing, service, and finance. We'll do everything from develop your website to restructure your marketing department. We can come in and train your call center staff. We can help you with finance, and we call it the art of business consulting and development. And with the same thing we do for businesses, we turn around and do for churches and ministries. So we go into churches and we help them develop process, protocol, and procedure. And one of the greatest pieces that we do between that is we write books for pastors from cover to cover in less than 60 days. And we now own our own publishing company. We print, publish, write, brand, and market all of those pieces, and it all came from a situation of struggle that turned into a situation of success.